Hello, I'm William King, and in this video I will be giving a commentary, analysis and evaluation of my final product for Project 3, the AM radio. Here it is. The majority of it has been made from acrylic, plastic, and all of this has been designed and cut out using computer-aided design software and a computer-aided manufacture laser cutter. The processes of manufacture are described in more detail within the portfolio itself. The main attraction of the product is its simplicity. This large tuning dial, prominent on the front, is the primary source of interaction with the consumer. So the consumer will be accessing this the most, and it's in an easy-to-reach location. It's not out of the way, so when they want to change the frequency they can do it quite easily. As mentioned in the portfolio, this tuning dial system has some similarities with the rotary dial telephone, the way a user interacts with that, and Jonathan Ive's iPod design. I decided not to add volume control to this, even though the circuit provides the ability to add one, because I thought it was unnecessary, since the product would be connected to a pair of speakers or a hi-fi system which would be able to control the volume. This would make it more complicated for the consumer, i.e. which volume control should they change, the one on the radio or the one on the hi-fi system. So that makes it a lot simpler. Let's have a look at the side. Here you can see the acrylic that I've used on the side. I've used blue acrylic, 5mm, and there's one sheet of purple that I used for this layer here. As I mentioned in the portfolio, there was no clear 5mm acrylic left in stock, which is the one I wanted to use for my design. So that's why this has been replaced. But the components can still be seen inside. For example, there's the 9-volt battery, and from some other angles you can see some of the other circuitry. Yeah, just in here you can't see it very well on the video, but that's the idea I was going for, and being able to see it is still quite nice. These layers have been glued together with epoxy resin, which has been used a lot in this project for joining acrylic. Excess has been removed off the top here, for example, with abrasive paper, and was polished later with fine grade wet and dry paper. I think it's best if I show you the back if I turn it on its side to show you the back. On the back you can see the on-off switch, which provides the functionality for turning the radio on and off, which saves the battery life quite a lot, and the standard 3.5mm jack, which can be used to connect a number of devices such as portable speakers and hi-fi systems. While I was manufacturing this product, actually, I just used a pair of normal headphones to test it to make sure the circuit was working. And on the bottom there are 4 anti-slip and anti-scratch feet. These are made from blue neoprene foam, which have been also cut out on a laser cutter. These were left over from the Project 1 prototype chair in my coursework portfolio. Let's try and take let's take the cover off here and see what's happening inside. Here you can see the screws. There's a friction fit or an interface fit which keeps these in place and holds the cover on the back of the product. There. It's hard to do this with one hand, so bear with me. And this is the innards of the product. So you can see here we have a number of flying leads which connect the circuit to the back of the product. These have been tidied up using a combination of trunking here, which the wires sit nicely inside of, and there are also a number of cable ties holding them together when they're not in trunking. There's a variable capacitor just here, and there's a housing as well. You'll probably be able to see it in more detail in the portfolio when I describe and explain its construction, but this changes the frequency of the circuit, so you can pick up more than one channel and you can change the channel using the dial on the front. There's the 9-volt battery that's held in place. Just a small piece of trunking has been used here, so the battery doesn't move when it's upright, and it stays in place out of the way. This is the internal antenna just here, which has been glued down to the circuit using hot glue. This provides the signal to the circuit so we can pick up all the stations. And then, of course, on the back there is the switch here that's been soldered to the wires, which has been connected to the circuit, and then the audio jack just here. I think that pretty much covers it. Although this prototype is finished, I would say that this is by no means the end of the project. Various changes can be made to further improve this product. For example, on the front here, the dial doesn't sit completely straight within this. So what I was thinking of when I was designing this was I was hoping to have all of this flush, and well, actually it does look pretty much flush at the moment, but sometimes after you've been using it and from certain angles, it does seem to be just a bit off-center and a bit misaligned. So some changes to the design of the capacitor housing inside the product might be able to help make sure it's in line all the time. Also, the positioning of trunking in the PCB can be seen through this blue translucent acrylic sometimes. If you use it, again, on the camera it doesn't show up very well, but actually it does. You can see the light coming through the back of the blue acrylic here, and then you can see where the circuit board has been attached. Repositioning these could solve this problem and make sure there's a constant colour throughout. For example, hiding the circuit board down here out of the way of this dial, so the dial is never out of bounds here, so hiding it there would be okay. Or also I could have chosen an opaque acrylic here, so no light came through, and that might be possibly a bit easier. I have to say the quality of the sound is not fantastic on this, and there is limited reception. At the moment this is being filmed and produced, this product is produced in Holland, and I'm not sure how many AM broadcasts there are, but I know there are a lot more in the UK, so maybe using this in the UK would be better. But yeah, there's limited reception, and also because at the moment we're in a bit of a rural town, so it's not very helpful. Maybe using a higher quality kit or components would be able to improve the sound quality. Actually, I'm not going to open it up again, but on the circuit there is a solder point to add an external antenna. This may improve the signal quality, however it would mean having a long wire coming out of the back of the product, and it may distract from the aesthetic properties of the product. The most thing I'm upset about is, to be honest, there's a spot just here on the front of the dial where it's been glued to the disc underneath using epoxy resin. This detracts very much from the aesthetic properties of the front. Maybe using a different adhesive could change this, or a different joining method completely. If that didn't work, an opaque acrylic could be used again. Also, maybe sticking a piece of neoprene or a logo on a piece of vinyl over the top, but that's not something I particularly want to do, because I like this whole colour scheme of having it all this translucent white and then this blue underneath. So, but maybe for the next prototype something could be done like that. There was some experimentation with the acrylic discs used on the rear that keeps this plate on. At first there were some neoprene discs that were first used. While these did look nice and match the feet on the bottom, just here, they did become a bit disfigured during their use, so they became a bit distorted, and that wasn't particularly nice. I decided in the end to use acrylic rings to keep them on, using a friction fit again, like the neoprene. These are also, acrylic is obviously a completely more durable material and keeps them in place just as well. However, sometimes these rings can be a bit tricky to get off, especially for one of them. Yeah, there's this one just here. It does come off, it does come off. But maybe changing the shape of this might be able to change this. For example, making it two sides flat, so it fits the finger better, so it's easier to take off. So that's a possible improvement I could make to that, or maybe simply just by making the internal diameter here a bit wider, but so it slides on more easily and off more easily. But again, the problem with that is it might just be too loose then, and there wouldn't be a friction fit at all with this acrylic rod. All of that being said, I'm quite pleased with the quality of the outcome of the product, and other people are quite pleased with it too. The results from the outcome questionnaire reflect this, which you can see in some further slides in my portfolio. I think that's all. Thank you for watching.